Every morning at exactly 9 o'clock, an old man named Thomas walked slowly to the same little mailbox at the end of his street. His neighbors saw him every day, rain or sunshine, winter or summer. He always opened the mailbox, looked inside for a few seconds, then quietly closed it and walked back home. Most people thought it was just part of his routine, but no one knew the real reason. 20 years earlier, Thomas had argued with his only son. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about anything important. It started with a few angry words. Words spoken in the heat of the moment. His son packed a small suitcase that same evening. Before leaving, he stood at the front door and said, "Maybe one day I'll write to you." Then he walked away. Thomas wanted to stop him. He wanted to apologize. But pride can be louder than love. The next morning, he told himself he'll come back in a few days. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Months became years. No phone calls, no visits, no letters. Still, every single morning Thomas checked the mailbox. His neighbors often asked, "Are you expecting something important?" Thomas always smiled gently. "Maybe today?" As the years passed, his hair turned white. His steps became slower. The old wooden house grew quieter every season. But the mailbox remained the first place he visited every morning. One cold autumn afternoon, a young mail carrier noticed him standing by the mailbox longer than usual. She walked over and asked, "Has someone forgotten to write to you?" Thomas looked at the empty mailbox and smiled sadly. "No. I'm just waiting for someone to forgive me." The young woman never forgot those words. A few weeks later, she shared the story with a local newspaper. It was a small article. Just a few paragraphs about an old man who had waited 20 years for one letter from his son. No one expected what happened next. The story spread across the country. Thousands of people read it. Then one evening, a man sitting alone in another city saw the article. His hands began to shake. It was Thomas's son. For years, he had written countless letters in his mind, but he had never found the courage to send even one. That night, he didn't write. He bought a train ticket. The next morning, Thomas was sitting by the window, holding his cup of tea. Suddenly, someone knocked on the front door. He opened it slowly. Standing there was a man with gray hair beginning to appear at his temples. Neither of them spoke. For a long moment, they simply looked at each other. Then the son whispered, "I'm sorry, I took too long." Thomas's eyes filled with tears. He smiled through them and replied, "I've been waiting every single day." Without another word, they embraced. 20 years of silence disappeared in a single hug. Later that afternoon, the mail carrier walked past the house. For the first time in 20 years, the mailbox remained closed. It no longer mattered. Because sometimes, the message we've been waiting for doesn't arrive inside an envelope. Sometimes, it walks through the front door. Never let pride steal the time you could spend with the people you love. Because some letters can wait, but life cannot.